Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Checking in on the commodity space. So the dollar started its consolidation, which was due into the end of last week. And by due, I mean the fact that we saw a higher low every single day for 8 days in a row. And then we lost that pattern and the daily consolidation is underway. The dollar bulls will have to see continuation because we have not changed the daily trend yet. We saw a very significant move off of the low, but until we set that higher low and higher high, we don't have a daily trend change just yet. So we're definitely expecting a daily higher low. The question now is going to be, can we form that higher low quickly to give the chance for continuation? Or are we going to continue this pullback to start this coming week and have it be more of an equilibrium setup into the end of November? So gold bulls and miners are definitely going to be watching this very closely because they want to see the scenario where we pull back as much as possible, because the last thing the bulls want to see out of gold and the miners is the dollar confirming its daily trend, because if that were to take place, then the odds of our monthly higher low being set in the dollar would increase a good bit. So gold bounce still underway. We have not topped out just yet. We formed a daily inside bar on Friday. If that inside bar breaks bearish, then we have our low, the high of the bounce, and then the bulls would have to hold the low and change the daily trend. So you would have to see something along these lines for a daily trend change. If we break this inside bar bullish on Monday, then we have not topped out yet, and that gives the bulls better chance of forming a daily higher low once we do top out. Keeping in mind that all this is happening with the S&P 500 at all-time highs, best case scenario for gold would be some kind of surprise rift in the China and US trade deal that leads to a big leap backwards as far as progress. And just like that, gold could be back up looking towards 1,500 if that were to take place, in my opinion. If it doesn't take place and the market strength continues, then the best that the gold bulls can hope for is to just continue hovering around this range. Because again, monthly time frame, the precious metals have nothing to worry about. This consolidation is perfectly normal and healthy considering the breakout that we saw. Look at the last little bull move we saw. Bull move, 3 months of consolidation into the breakout. Now we have 3 months of consolidation, actually only 2.5 months of consolidation at this point, and we're just watching to see at what point is our monthly higher low set for the bulls to shift their gears back up to testing the recent highs. So we're still keeping an eye on these precious metals heading into 2020 because it's entirely possible that we could see some kind of event that leads to continuation on the monthly time frame. So we'll be watching to see, can the bulls change the daily trend in the precious metals? If we do drop down with a daily lower high and lower low and break support of 1445, the odds of further pullback on the monthly, and pretty much just the more we pull back, obviously the longer it's going to take us to get back up to the recent high. So the bulls want to change this daily trend as soon as possible. Silver has already topped out and started pulling back by breaking the low of Thursday on Friday. So again, need that trend change, have to hold the low of 1620, make that 1662, hold 1662, and break 1709 to change this daily trend. Same thing on the consolidation, although the distance needed, let's look at percentages real quick just to compare gold and silver. How much does silver need to see to head back to our recent highs? Percentage-wise, we're looking at about 15-16%. And what does gold need to see? Much less. Spoiler alert. We need about 6%. So silver definitely has a little bit more volatility than gold, but gold bulls should be able to see higher highs before silver bulls are able to. So checking in on the miners, we were watching dust for a daily higher low to form. Friday, we dropped down in the morning and bounced back in the afternoon. Pretty much a V-shaped recovery, but no trend change. We dropped to a lower low with a lack of bear follow-through. So that's one good sign for the bulls, but we will still need the hourly trend change. So I'm looking at the need to consolidate from wherever we open Monday morning, hold 754, and then see continuation. That hourly trend change would tell us, okay, our daily higher low has been established, and we're focusing back up at 856 resistance. Looking at the bull miners, so NUGT still looking a little bit toppy. The high of 27.83, we only broke it by 5 pennies. That's a little bit of a double top, and we closed near the low of the day. So if we break the low of Friday on Monday, 26.78, the daily consolidation will be underway, and the bulls, it'll be up to them to hold the low of 24.65 to try and change its daily trend, just like we're watching the gold bulls trying to change their daily trend. I watch NUGT and Dust, honestly, just to keep it simple. I'm trading 20 different things. My focus is not miners and gold. It's definitely one of the instruments that I will trade, but I just keep it simple by focusing on NUGT and Dust. There are differences, little minute differences between the junior miners, JNUG and JDST and GDXJ. So if you are more focused on the miners, you're definitely watching all 4 of those names and trying to pick your spots as to which direction you're looking and which name is looking better in that direction. But for me personally, I just keep it simple. And if I'm looking at miners, I'm looking at NUGT or Dust. Oil. So oil bulls, extremely strong. 57.84 resistance did break, and we ended the week on a strong note. So anything above 56.41 will keep this little 4-hour uptrend intact. We could draw a trend line here to keep an eye on this uptrend, but the bulls are fairly comfortable in the sense that we broke to a higher high to end the week. That's the highest price that we've seen, and the weekly candlestick closed really strong. So we are definitely still looking for a weekly lower high compared to 63.33. That's about 10% away, but there is no sign of that weekly lower high being set just yet. And in my opinion, we will see oil and the markets consolidate on the weekly time frame at the same time. No indication of either topping out just yet. And natural gas, keeping an eye still on natural gas to give us a daily lower high compared to 2782. Nice little bounce off of support 2503 by the end of Friday. We made it all the way up to 266. So a solid little 6% move or so off of that low. And I personally will be scouting for a bearish entry, but the trade has to be a really clear setup for me. So anything on the 4-hour time frame above 2545 keeps the 4-hour uptrend in control, and we would have to see the 4-hour uptrend lost on natural gas for us to say, okay, that's our daily lower high being set. And if we want to condense it down a little bit, let's see if we can get a little bit more clarity. I like the 2-day time frame. So we can see, what are the odds of the bulls being able to go straight from the low of 250 up back over 278, over a 10% move straight into continuation. It's possible, but in my opinion, it's the less likely scenario than forming a lower high compared to that level and seeing this daily range continue to tighten. So keeping a close eye on natural gas to see if there's any sign of the bulls running out of momentum as we head back up towards that 2782 resistance. So that's where we stand into this coming week. Again, just keep an eye on these bulls in the gold and miner space. All things considered, with where we stand right now, the bulls are pleased with how they are holding up. It was a bummer a couple weeks ago when we did get that meaningful drop as soon as we got the bullish trade talk news. But again, any negative news on that trade talk, then gold will respond significantly, in my opinion, as we've seen just even the slightest market weakness, a solid recovery in these miners. So that's going to have my attention. And as I'm watching things and looking at potential bearish plays in the market for when the time comes, not necessarily fighting the market every day and fighting the trend, but when we say, okay, clearly weekly consolidation is underway, I will be looking at gold and bull miners to potentially be an instrument to capitalize on that short-term little shift. So we'll continue watching it as always and covering it in the daily videos. I hope you had a good weekend, and see you soon.